Good evening, dear students. Today we will discuss about the human digestive system. As we know that the human digestive system, it is comprises of the two parts. First is the alimentary canal and second is the digestive glands. We know that the human digestive system is that type in which the food is digested and it releases the energy in the form of the ATP. The full form of ATP is the adenosine triphosphate. Alimentary canal, it is a long tubular part. Just a tube-like or tubular part starts from the mouth and ends up at anus. This is the first part of the alimentary canal is the mouth. Second one is the buccal cavity. Third one is the pharynx. Fourth is esophagus. Fifth is stomach. Next is small intestine, large intestine, and last one is the anus. These all parts comprises the digestive system, including the alimentary canal. It is a tube-like part which starts from the mouth and ends up at the anus. Mouth, it is that part in which the process of the ingestion takes place. It includes the teeth, tongue, plus saliva. As we know that the teeth, they help in the mastication of the food. Mastication or in the cutting of the food. Tongue, it performs the two basic functions. First, it plays an role in the speech. Second, pushes the food towards the next part of the alimentary canal. Third one is the saliva, which is released by the salivary glands, which are present in our mouth, and they contain an enzyme which is known as the salivary amylase. It is also known as the ptyalin. It helps softens the food particle. Secondly, it works on starch or on carbohydrates and break them into the sugar molecules. So it is the first part of the alimentary canal, that is the mouth, and it includes the teeth, tongue and saliva. Teeth, they help in the mastication of the food. Tongue, it plays a role in speech, pushes the food towards the next part of the alimentary canal. Third one is the saliva, which is released by the salivary glands. It contains an enzyme which is known as salivary amylase, also known as ptyalin. It softens the food particles and it acts on the starch or carbohydrates and convert them into the sugar molecule. As we know that we are having the four different types of the teeth. First is the incisors. Second is the canines. Third one is the molars. Fourth one is the premolars. Incisors, they help in the cutting of the food. These are also known as the front teeth. Canines, used to tear the flesh. The carnivorous animals like tiger and lion, which are having the longer canines because they have to tear the flesh. Molars and the premolars are the last one teeth, and in the general, the dental formula of the human teeth is the 2123 upon 2123 into 2 is equal to 32. These are the 32 teeth which are present in the adult human beings. Generally, there are the two types of teeth. Milk teeth and permanent teeth. Milk teeth are the 20 in numbers and these are the 32 in number. Formula of milk teeth is this one. and permanent teeth is this one. What is the 212? 212 is the two are the front teeth or the incisors, one is the canine and two are the next molars. And in upper and lower jaw, these are present in the half condition, and so it is multiplied by the 2 in case of milk teeth as well as in case of the permanent teeth. Next portion is called the buccal cavity. This is also known as the vestibule. Vestibule is that which helps to store the food for some time. Store the food for some time. Secondly, in buccal cavity, food get mixed with saliva, and it also help to become the soften the foods. Then finally it will pass from the pharynx and enter into the esophagus. Pharynx is that part which is common for food plus air. Next is the esophagus part. Esophagus, when the food particle it enters into the food pipe, or because the second name of the esophagus is the food pipe. It shows a muscular movement just like this one. This is known as the peristalsis, or it is also known as the peristaltic movements, which helps to easily move down the food from the esophagus to the further parts of the alimentary canal. That name is very important, because what is the peristalsis? Sometime it is asked in the question paper exam. What is peristalsis? It is the rhythmic contraction and relaxation by the muscular activities of the esophagus, or the downward of the movement of the food through the esophagus is known as the peristalsis, and this movement is known as the peristaltic movement. Second part is the stomach. Stomach, it is a just J-shaped structure which helps to store the food for some time. It is comprises of the two parts, cardiac part and second one is the pyloric part. Cardiac part, it is located near the heart, and second is away from the heart. From here there is present a sphincter like aperture or sphincter, that is known as the cardiac sphincter. It is that type of sphincter which regulates the entry of the food, from esophagus to stomach. Once the food enter into the stomach, this sphincter will prevent the backward movement of the food from the cardiac part of the stomach to esophagus. Here second aperture is or sphincter is also present, that is known as the pyloric sphincter. This sphincter also stop the backward movement of the food from the further small intestine to the stomach. It means once the food enter from esophagus into the stomach, it will never get regurgitated or the peristaltic movement, or matlab ki it will never move back towards the food pipe, because this sphincter it prevents the backward movement of the food towards the esophagus. Just like the same, this pyloric sphincter stop the movement of the food from small intestine to the stomach portion, that like the pyloric sphincter. In the stomach there are present the gastric glands. Gastric glands, they help to release a secretion which is known as the HCl. That HCl is known as the hydrochloric acid. It is acidic in nature. It helps to activate an enzyme that is known as the pepsin. Pepsin further it works on the proteins and convert the proteins into the amino acids. as like we can say that the hydrochloric acid, it helps in the digestion of the proteins and convert the proteins into the amino acids. Next part is the small intestine. It is the longest part of the alimentary canal. Longest part of the alimentary canal. Its length is approximately about 6.25 meter long. It is too long, but why this is called small intestine? Because it is present in a highly coiled manner or in highly coiled fashion. It is the longest part and it includes the three parts or comprises of the three parts. First is the duodenum, second is the jejunum, third is the ileum. These are the three parts which comprises the small intestine. Same in just like the stomach, here also will be the secretion of the duodenal secretion or jejunum. These will involve the maximum digestion and absorption of food will take place in the small intestine. In small intestine there is also present some finger-like structures which are known as the villi. What is the function of villi? They help to increase the surface area for absorption. That's why we can say that in the small intestine the maximum absorption of the food takes place due to the presence of villi. In the villi there is present a rich supply of the blood vessels, that is also known as the lacteals, so that the digested food it easily get transported from the intestine to the various parts of the body. Next part is the large intestine. Large intestine. Large intestine, it is comprises of the two parts, colon and rectum. Generally we can say that the nutrition in human beings, it includes the mainly 5 processes: ingestion, second is the digestion, third is absorption, fourth is assimilation, and fifth is the egestion. So up to the absorption, these all processes